It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. You've got
A little fill light goes a long way. Since I work with photographers, I've learned that, even though I don't practice it all the time. Thanks for coming back here. Now, this is a little bit of just a piece of personal artistic expression. A little bit of, I'm questioning things. I want to talk about, again, okay, hear me out here. Mobile Fidelity, we've all been talking about. But there's a certain dramatic, poetic reality of this story. And everyone has been on different sides, some cross over in the middle, and I'm not going to get into that. But my personal thing, aside from the lying and the deceit, is this reality apparently from Mobile Fidelity is that they're just fucking clueless. And I was reinforced. I woke up at 4 a.m. I did not set my alarm on this Sunday morning, and I'm recording this because I think it was one of those internal fake alarms when you have to get up or you think you're supposed to get up, you wake up before the alarm goes off, and I didn't even set an alarm. But Michael, 45 in Germany, did an interview with Jeff Edgars this morning, live interview, 4 a.m. Pacific time. He is the writer of the Washington Post that wrote this story on Mobile Fidelity. And a couple things which I want to talk about came out of this. Things that I realized, like my whole thing was, why did Mobile Fidelity take so long to respond? Just take off the table. Okay, they've been doing these digital DSD things for at least a decade more, 15 years, almost forever. They took forever to respond to Michael Fremer, and basically they didn't do a press release after telling him. They didn't respond right away to anyone who literally reached out officially. And Jeff Edgars was talking about this article. A lot of us had heard about him interviewing people in the Hoffman forums, people like Michael 45 and Fremer, and Michael Poetry on Plastic, and Shane from Intervention Records, and of course Kevin Gray and Bernie Grunman, and those digital, mea culpa there, Freudian, those mastering engineers, those cutters. And he reached out to Mobile Fidelity, and they didn't get back to him for 4 days. And every time he wanted some information, they would ask him, write down some questions and we'll write. He goes, no, that's not what we do. That's not what a good reporter does. This isn't like when Trump, when he's subpoenaed, put the questions out, I'll answer them in writing, have them go through my lawyer. They have been stalling us, and it is such a surprise to me. Maybe it's not a surprise. People who hate them now say, no, if they're going to fuck up, they're going to fuck up wholly because they lied to us. But I don't understand people who have a company that don't respond. Now, that's just the lead into this, because I consider myself, I'm like an artist wannabe. I've always wanted to be an artist. And so I'm an artist without a discipline. I am not an artist. Those of you who watch me know I've been a photo agent for 37 years, representing commercial photographers. Some have a parallel fine art career. And I am in awe of their massive talents. The other thing you could talk about now, everyone's a friggin' photographer with an iPhone. But that's a whole different story that I could go on and pontificate about for the ages. When I was 12 years old, I had a band with my buddy Larry and Danny and Kirk, and we had bands for years. I was never a great guitar player, but I loved playing music. I love music. I still love music. The reason I started showing my record collection on YouTube is because I like this collection. I have this wonderful collection. I have friends come over. We have a good time. But I want to express myself in a way of self-therapy. And that's been something really important to me. And I found that people seem to like it, or some people seem to like it. And the people that don't, that's fine too. There are a lot of options out there, and we take up a lot of time with these videos. And so a lot of people don't have time to watch them all. And you gravitate to maybe the genres you like, or the personalities you like, or the style you like, whatever it is. And, I'm not even a good comedian. Like Michael Fremer was a comedian for a while. I guess he wasn't good either, otherwise he would have stuck with it in terms of that. So, and some people, as I said, this whole audiophile thing, whether it's the Hoffman forums or audiophile purists, usually have no sense of humor. And that's been scientifically proven. So I'm going to move on from that. I'm not going to talk about that. But I thought of this song that I really like. There's a folk singer who's still alive, by the way, came out of the Greenwich Village scene. He was in the military on the weekends when he was at camp somewhere near New York. He'd come to Greenwich Village in the early 60s and go to Folk City, and he was a contemporary of Bob Dylan. His name was Tom Paxton. And Tom Paxton, let me show this. I am showing a couple of records here. I believe this is his first album, Ramblin' Boy. And we all know that the big thing about folk singers is they ramble. They ramble. I'm a ramblin' here. Tom Rush was a ramblin' here. Everybody's a ramblin'. Woody Guthrie's a ramblin' boy, a ramblin' man. Allman Brothers, I was born a ramblin' man. Great songwriter, great lyricist. I didn't get into him until 1967, when FM radio in San Francisco, at the birth of underground FM radio in San Francisco, KMPX, started continually playing a song that's on a double live album of his called Talking Vietnamese Potluck Blues. What's the matter with you, baby? You should check out that song. I fell in love with Tom Paxton. I went back, his Electra albums. I think he was on Vanguard as well, possibly. And someone's going to call me out if I'm wrong on that. But he has he has a song on this album called The Last Thing on My Mind. I think that's his signature song. I think it's his most iconic song. And he writes here in the liner notes about the song: sometimes something important slips right through our fingers. We stand and we watch it happening, but don't have the words to stop it. And there it goes. And that's it. It's gone. Flies away. Mobile Fidelity is doing this to themselves. They have something really special. I still like the records I like. That whole thing about all of a sudden people saying, I heard this and I knew there was something wrong. That could have been a mastering choice, and so be it if that's where you are right now. I still like the records I have of theirs for the most part. I am not one who buys the big boxes anyway. So the $125 doodahs, I'm not in on that. And I've heard, good and bad things about that. But again, that's not what this is about. Mobile Fidelity has something amazing. They had something that seemingly has slipped through their fingers. These great sounding records, and they, at somewhere along the line, they made a decision. Now, some argue with me, it's all it is financial, because if they just went the cheap route and did this digital step, maybe so, I don't know that. Certain labels like Sony won't let the tapes out, and if they do get out to anybody, they don't get out very long. And Mobile Fidelity found a way to cut these masters, bring a mobile studio setup and do them there, and they have a little more time to work with these DSD transfers. I'm not getting in the technical side of this. They made that decision. I made a comparison, and some people agreed or disagreed or thought it was a totally different situation, that a lot of us like the Rolling Stones mono box that came out a few years ago. That's APCO. Now, APCO owns those Stones tapes, so they could do whatever they want. Maybe the tapes are in less than great condition, apparently, but they're DSD transfers, and that box set is amazing. But they didn't try to hide the fact that that's has a DSD step, and we all love it. And that's the problem. Mobile Fidelity, to this day, doesn't come out. They did a press release. Now, Jeff Edgars said they reluctantly spoke with him for this Washington Post article. I am still gobsmacked that they haven't come out and come up on these channels, to make their own video, revitalize their own YouTube channel, which I think is hanging out there, probably hasn't had a video since 1937 or something. Come out and talk to us. You know, those 3 engineers at Mobile Fidelity looked very uncomfortable when they were talking. You could see body language when they were talking to Mike at the in-groove. But, you know, they kind of said a few things, but they need to come out and just really talk about this. Are they dead? I don't know. But this song just really seems to encompass how I'm feeling on the artistic side. If I can bring poetry to this situation, I'm going to read some of the lyrics to this Tom Paxton song, because I could see if they felt anything, if they really felt anything aside from the bottom line and their business going to shit, if the Jim Davises of the world, or the Woods, or the whoever the people are, I'm not one to get into that part of it, but I've been, you know, reading and listening just like a lot of you who are into this. Listen to these lyrics. "'Tis a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know, that was the last thing on my mind." They have no conception. They're not thinking of this. They're not thinking it through. They're not talking to us. They're not sharing shit with us. They're not just saying, okay, we love this DSC process. We've tried all of it. And we found this is the best way. That's what they should have told us. Is it too late? I don't know. What does a folk song from 1964 have to do with Mobile Fidelity? I think there's going to be a poetic justice, a Shakespearean end to this story if MoFi doesn't do anything. Whatever they do musically, whatever they do technically, they need to come out and speak to all of us. They need to talk to us. You know, whether, I don't mean this being in the hot seat with some 60-minute type reporter and get Michael Fremer or get Michael 45 or Michael Poetry. Come out and just talk. Talk about it. Maybe do a live stream. Let people, you know, respond in the peanut gallery. They need to talk about this. I like to adapt music to real life situations, and that's the poetic side of my interest in music, and that something in this real newsworthy story, maybe for record geeks only, but obviously in the Washington Post it's getting a lot of coverage. I'm going to play this, but also I just thought I'd throw out this. And now neither of these albums have been issued by Mobile Fidelity or any analog audiophile company, but these are great original analog records anyway. In fact, this album by The Move, Shazam, Roy Wood, look at that. That's the great label of A&M Records. In fact, Shane, Intervention Records, you have a hookup with A&M, reissue this record. But I show this. This is before Jeff Lynne joined the group, and then of course The Move begat Electrolyte Orchestra and so on. This is a beautiful record. It's a heavy, it's psychedelic, it's power pop. And the last song on here, it's 7 minutes and 35 seconds, is this behemoth of a version of The Last Thing on My Mind, written by Tom Paxton. And when I woke up after 4 o'clock this morning, both these versions were ringing around my head, the lyrics of these two versions. Why? I don't know. They adapt. It's kind of like my guess would be, if I were a filmmaker, if I were a filmmaker And I was telling this story, casting this story of Mobile Fidelity and the possible demise of Mobile Fidelity, maybe a Michael Mann version of this, like he did with the tobacco company. Remember that movie? I would use these songs, one at the, somewhere in the middle and one during the closing credits. And you decide which one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me ramble, because some are going to say, Mazzy, you're rambling. We have no idea what the fuck you're saying. But this is one of those, again, self-therapy things about a story that is not going away anytime soon, even though you might be bored with it. I just thought it was very interesting. And that's I'm going to say my final take on it, but who knows? I don't want to lie to you either. So Mazzy loves you. Remember, give me some truth. I did not put this shirt on purpose, but it seems really appropriate for this story. Come on, Mobile Fidelity. Just give us some truth. If you want to come with me, you can, but I'm going to be a little snarky with you. But that's not why I'm doing this. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. More records will be coming this into the week.
It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind.
It's a lesson too late for the learning, yeah. Made of sand, oh, it's made of sand. In the wing of an eye, my thumb keeps on turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace for me to find? To be unkind. Oh, you must know it was the last thing on my mind. As we walk, all my thoughts, they are a-tumbling down, down, round and around, round and round. And underneath, I hear the sound